Hey, how's it going? Capital City Baptist Church. Scott here with your Thursday Daily Devo. In case you were wondering, I had an absolutely amazing time on vacation. Me and my family came from all over the country, some from Virginia, some from Nevada, some from Washington, and we all met in a little quaint mountain town called Downeyville, California. We rented cabins along the Yuba River, and it was just such a great time to rest and relax and share stories and jokes with family members, to catch up with them, and more often than not, when we weren't doing family time, there was plenty of time to rest, and I found myself very often hanging out by the river with a good audiobook and plenty of snacks to enjoy. And so, if you have been following along in our Thursday Devos, you will know that we have been in James chapter 3. We're going to be finishing out the third chapter today. We're going to be in verses 13 through 18. And so if you have your Bible handy, go ahead and pause the video, flip there, or if you don't have a Bible, you can find a link that'll take you to our passage through Bible Gateway. Without further ado, James 3:13 through 18 reads like this: Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life and deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come from heaven, but is earthly, spiritual, demonic. Unspiritual, demonic. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace reap a harvest of righteousness. It is a dog-eat-dog world out there. Nice guys finish last. You got to look out for numero uno. These are just a few of the prevailing proverbs in our culture. We live in a world that is full of selfish ambition, and putting oneself first and pride are really extolled as virtues. And this is the wisdom of the world, a wisdom that James actually describes as demonic. James tells us that envy and self-seeking is the source code for all other sins. And when you really think about it, that checks out when you consider the very first sin that was brought into the world in Genesis 3. Eve was seeking wisdom when she took the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And it says in Genesis 3:6, so when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. In this passage, Eve coveted the fruit as a means for gaining wisdom, and for the selfish reason of putting herself in the place of God. And through this one selfish act, she let in a whole world of chaos and destruction and every other sin that man has ever has and ever will commit. And that also separated us from a perfect relationship that we were supposed to enjoy with God, and was only rectified when the second member of the Trinity, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came to earth, lived a perfect and sinless life, and took our place on the cross. The wisdom of the culture tells us to promote our interests first above all. According to James, the wisdom of God is actually sixfold: to pursue purity in our lives. This means that we don't allow ourselves to be stained by the indulgences of the world. We're careful what media and entertainment we fill our minds with, and we cling to the biblical sexual ethic of one man, one woman, in the confines of a marital covenant with God, and that's a lifelong commitment. We're also to be agents of peace. And I've said many times before that the biblical idea of peace is not just the absence of violence, but shalom. That's what that biblical peace is. It's the pursuit of the well-being, the wholeness, and the flourishing of those around us. And it means that we seek a good relationship with God, our fellow man, and God's creation, whom we are called to steward. We are also willing to yield. We submit to God's direction in our lives, and we do not assert our will over His. And we also put the interests of others first, even at the expense of our own. We are to be full of mercy. In our culture, we have this mentality of if someone hits us, we hit back harder. This is a mentality that I have seen even in Christian circles as believers try to navigate the waters of cultural wars. But James instructs us to be full of mercy. We're to be quick to forgive and slow to retaliate. We also strive to produce good fruits, which Galatians 5:22 and 23, Paul describes as love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control. These are the fruits that we are to exhibit in our lives and our relationships if we want to pursue that godly wisdom. And we do all of this without partiality. We don't give a preference to one people group over the other, or my tribe versus your tribe, or the prevailing us versus them mindset that is so dominant in our culture. We also do so without hypocrisy. We are the same in public as we are behind closed doors. The wisdom of the world may sound right to us. It might sound appealing and over turning the other cheek and choosing to be meek and humble, but the wisdom of the world will only lead to confusion, chaos, and death in the end. I mean, look at the world around us. The world has been following its own wisdom since the dawn of time. And in this present age, we can see countries ravaged by senseless wars, genocide, mass shootings, broken homes, abuse, mass deception, and just outright brokenness. But if we sow peace, or shalom, we reap a harvest of righteousness. So go and do likewise. I hope that today's devotion has been encouraging to you. I pray that you are able to apply these principles to your life this week. And I hope you have a great week. And God bless. See you Sunday.